In this video I am going to upgrade from TrueNAS Core to TrueNAS Community Edition. Welcome to Home Tiny Lab, my name is Christoph, and like said, in this video I am going to test how I can upgrade from TrueNAS Core to TrueNAS Community Edition. What I am going to do is to put one of my old systems back into operational condition. So I have a system with an Intel Core i3 Haswell 4th generation. It is a system from 2014 with 16 gigabytes of memory, one SSD and one hard disk. So the things that I had to do was to change the fan out, because the one that was installed was a little bit making a bizarre or a sound that was not proof of a good working fan. And then I had to reconnect the power to the hard disk and the SATA connection, because I did not need it for my previous usage for that system. I also did a test boot, so that's already behind, and I've put it in place, and now I can start with installing TrueNAS Core, and then we will see how we can upgrade from there on. So here we have the page of the TrueNAS software status. If you want to install an older version, you will have to go to this page, and then you have downloads. If you go a little bit lower, if you click on downloads, then you will have the different versions, and the one that is the actual release that's good working or for general usage is normally the one that is highlighted. If you want to install an older version, you will have to go to archive. Here I have to go down to the version that corresponds with the TrueNAS Core edition, and that's this one. So you have to click on it, you will be directed to the download page, and if you want to install, it's important that you download the ISO file. Okay, this said, let's install it now on the system. Okay, I have plugged in Ventoy SSD with different ISOs on that I will need to test the different ways how you can upgrade or not upgrade. We will see what's possible and what's not possible. So let's first boot the system. The system is starting up. Here we have the startup screen, F11 to enter the boot selection menu, and we are going to start the UEFI verbatim. That's where my Ventoy is installed on, and we will install on the crucial SSD that's in the system. Secure boot disabled. Scanning the files that are on the SSD, and here we have the different possibilities. So let's select the latest TrueNAS Core at the moment of filming this video. So I am going to select this and then boot in normal mode. And let's go to the installer. And here we have to choose install upgrade. So let's select OK. Then it was the crucial where I want to install on, and my data disk will be the hard disk, and that's the Seagate drive of around 2 terabytes. So let's select the SSD and then press enter. This will erase all partitions. Okay, yes. Then we have to enter a password for the root user. Important to know, because further on we will always have to use root and the password that we are going to enter. Okay, boot via UEFI. Let's create a swap. It's on an SSD. If you would install this still on a USB stick, then don't make a swap file. Normally this installation is not so painful. The TrueNAS installation on the SSD has succeeded. Please reboot and remove the installation media. So I don't have to remove the boot media or installation media because my default SSD to boot from is the internal SSD, so the crucial SSD. So press OK in my case, and then choose reboot system. Okay, the system is booted up completely. You see the IP address with which you can open the web page. I have already entered a DNS record for that IP address so that I can access it by name. That's what we are going to do. Okay, I'm going to enter the URL. It is demonas.ometinylab. Remember, I had to give the password for the root account, so it is root and then the password that we entered. Now we have a completely fresh install of TrueNAS Core. Let's create now a little environment where we can test the upgrade from TrueNAS Core to TrueNAS Community Edition. So the first thing that we will do is to see if we can create a pool. This is going to be very simple because I only have one disk in this hard disk in this system. So let's go to storage, pools, no pools detected. So this is already good. So let's click on add, create new pool, create pool. Let's give it a name and we are going to call this demo pool. No encryption for in this case. And now let's select the hard disk. So you clearly see SSD and HDD. So it's the HDD. So let's select it. Let's place it to the VDEF that we want to create. Let's force this to, we are not going to take the warning in account. Let's continue. So what it says is that there is no redundancy in this configuration. So if the disk fails, you will lose your data if you don't have a backup. For this use case, let's create it with OneDrive. Create, confirm. The disk will be erased, or all the disks that you will use for this pool will be erased. So now you have one pool that consists of one VDEF also, and that consists of one physical drive. That's the situation where we are in. And now let's create one demo dataset, and for this add dataset. The name will be demo dataset, and let's choose that it will be for SMB share, and let's submit. Let's now create the demo share. We are going to use the dataset to create the share on, and that is done by sharing Windows shares SMB, add the path to the demo dataset. Let's call it a demo share. Enabled advanced options. We don't have created an account that can use that share. That's also important that we create that account. Let's submit already this. Enable the service. SMB service has been enabled. Okay, close. And now let's create an account. Accounts. Let's go to users. Okay, close. Add. Let's create simply with my name. Email I'm not going to put. Okay, password that's needed. And then we have to confirm. Let's create new primary group. We are not going to use a home directory, and it will be used for Samba authentication. So let's submit this. And normally this should do the thing already. If you're not doing special things with ACL. To test this, I am going to Windows virtual machine. Here I am on the Windows machine. Let's immediately try to connect to the SMB share. Normally there should be a discovery of TrueNAS. I didn't change the name, so its default is TrueNAS. And then it asks for the username. So let's try what I have created as a user and with the password. And I see the demo share. So let's click on this and let's try to transfer some files into it. So I am going to my downloads folder. There are some files from previous tests. Let's select them all. And let's drop them in the share. And that worked. So I know that I have a working environment with almost default share, and I have a user created. There is a page on the TrueNAS site where they explain how you have to prepare to migrate from TrueNAS Core to TrueNAS Scale intermediately before going to TrueNAS Community Edition, or how you can directly go to, for example, to TrueNAS Community Edition, but then you have to save the config. See that you have all your data well backed up, and then you have to do an install upgrade from the ISO to the installation that you want to go. But if you have an older system, you can encounter a problem if you want to do this. I'm going to demonstrate this. So let's go back to my capture card, and we are going to reboot our freshly installed system. Now for this we have to select 10 and then press enter, say yes and enter, and it is rebooting. And then we have to go to our Ventoy boot disk again, and we are going to trying to install a new version. Okay, UEFI, clear boot disabled, important. Let's go to the latest release that is for general use of TrueNAS Scale. In reality, TrueNAS Community Edition. So let's press enter. And let's boot in normal mode. And we should have an error message. So here we are encountering not an error, but it's called a firmware bug, but it has to do something with the microcode of the processor. That is not the good version. So they propose to install the latest version of the BIOS, but that's not, for my platform, not giving a solution. So we have to go by an intermediate operating system that can be installed. If you have to do this, you can use the graphical user interface, the web page. That will make the whole process easier, because you have to go through a system that can be installed. So let's reboot the system again. And let's go back to TrueNAS Core. So that should be an automatic process. Let's press enter. Okay. This should go relatively fast. Okay, it's booted up, and let's go now to the web page again. So I have to log in now. And let's go to the dashboard. And here you see the button check for updates. So let's click on it. And there is nothing that is shown. That's something that I had to look up, but it has to have something to do with my DNSs that I have configured. So I'm going to change the DNS servers, and for this I have to go to, I think, network, global configuration, and here you can enter. Now they are given by my DHCP server, but with this you can override what's given by the DHCP server. So I'm going to choose this one and then one from Google, and click on save. Settings saved. Let's go back again to dashboard, check for updates, and now I have the menu where I can select from. The version to do an upgrade is the Dragonfish one, so the 24.04. Select this one, and then confirm, continue. The advantage is here that it will ask to save the configuration. So download updates, save configuration. Yeah, let's save it. Then apply updates and reboot the system after downloading, and we should be then in our TrueNAS Scale environment, and we should also still be able to use the share if everything goes well. So let's click on download, and the upgrade and migration process is happening now. Okay, let's have a look at the screen capture. And here we see that it is syncing disks to do a shutdown or shutdown reboot. This is one of the intermediate boots. Again, an intermediate boot, if I'm not mistaken. I think that this is going to be the final boot. Okay, this is the final boot. Okay, and the system is booted up, so normally it should be possible to access it through the web page again. Refreshing the page, and I am represented now not with TrueNAS Core but with TrueNAS Scale, and let's log in. So remember, we used root and then the password that you have given. It should be migrated also. And the UI changes. So the disadvantage is if you are used to one UI, between the different iterations, the side menu will change, and the dashboard also generally, and other submenus also. So it's always a little bit finding is your way around, but it's doable. It's not too complicated to migrate. The core things are the same. A pool, a data set, shares, it's all the same. So here you have the alerts. Always check that, don't forget it. Always check it. And you will see there's a new ZFS version. So we are going to upgrade this. So if you go to storage, there will be an upgrade button. And here you have the warning still because you're not having a redundant disk. So let's do an upgrade. Confirm, continue. So this is done. There's no way back. Let's now check if we can access the share. So here I'm back in my Windows system. Let's do a refresh. It seems to be still be accessible between the reboots. Let's move the files to the dashboard. That seems fine. So can we create something here? Let's create a folder. Let's call it new folder. Very original. So that's possible. Okay, so far so good. So everything was taken with the upgrade to TrueNAS scale. The only thing that I have created. I suppose that for NFS and for other shares it will work also. If you have more complex pools with more elaborated VDEFs, RAID Z2 or RAID Z3, it will be taken with the upgrade. What do we have to do? We are not at to the latest version. So with the ISO, we could not install to the latest TrueNAS version. So what we can try now is to migrate what we have to the latest general TrueNAS Community Edition in use. So let's go to dashboard. That's almost the same than in TrueNAS Core. And here we have to select. Let's go for the 2510 release. Switch train, okay, continue. This is not a production release and should not be used for, and should only be used for testing. Okay, I'm not so wild, so I will go one back. And that's the one that I am going to install. So download updates, save configuration. I have it a second time. Let's save. Apply updates and reboot the system after downloading. That's something that we already know. And starting the download. Let's go to the capture page. Okay, it's already booted, so let's go back to the desktop of my virtual machine. Let's do a refresh. And now we have TrueNAS without the scale anymore. And let's again try to log in with the root account and the password. And again, the dashboard has changed a little bit. We have a little bit more choices that we can make, and we have containers. And let's go to the alarm bell, and again, new ZFS version with new features. So let's go to storage and let's click on upgrade. And there is no way back after this. Is there something else for messages? No. And let's go back to the dashboard and let's test it again in our Windows machine if we can use the SMB share. Here we are by magic in our, let's create to be wild a text document and let's call it new text document. Enter. So it worked. Let's take one file only. Okay. Let's put it back. Replace the file in destination. What we have done in this video is clearly to upgrade from TrueNAS Core to TrueNAS Community Edition. What you can also use this for if you have older computers where you could not install the latest release of TrueNAS Community Edition. You could always try to install TrueNAS Scale 24.04 and from there on upgrade to the latest version so that you can use also the latest version of TrueNAS. So the system that I have now configured, I will use it in the future to test some other things out, like transferring files from TrueNAS Core to TrueNAS Scale. And if I am a little bit acquainted with TrueNAS Community Edition, I will migrate my TrueNAS Core system in production. So thank you for watching, and if you want to see some future videos about TrueNAS or something else that I am showing off in my, let's call it tutorials, don't forget to subscribe and to like the video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.